Hi guys, I'm back. I know I haven't posted in a few days, so I'm sorry about that. I was just busy with school. Keep in mind I don't like school. Okay, I don't want to be a part of school, anything like that. But like I was sort of like in a position where I was forced to work and finish stuff. Cause it's near this. It was like near the end of the school year. Anyways, today as you read by the title, today is a story about how I became, woke, or how I became, how my awakening started, what led me up to the point where, I actually eventually awakened, what was the point where I actually awakened? Now, let me tell you. So, as you're born to the world, you know, at least for me, I'm speaking from my own experience, okay? So what happened to me is, when I was small, just a normal kid and stuff like that. But even as a kid, I went through hard times and just pain and everything, and a lot of pain sometimes. We as spiritual beings, keep in mind we're humans too. We also have a human aspect, but as spiritual beings, we have like sometimes we go through certain traumas, pain and stuff like that. We're all heartbreak, things like that, and you know, for me, obviously, it's not like I ever didn't go through struggles, because I did. A lot of pain and stuff like that. I believe it was what I'm trying to say. Like, I basically like went through. I feel like a lot of pain in life, right? Which eventually, I just kept building up and up and up, and then eventually at one point, like 2 years ago, actually, I became woke. 2 years ago is when I had my spiritual awakening, and I believe it's simply because of the pain and stuff like that. I just kept building up and up and up, like the pressure got too much, and at one point, I just guess that's how I awakened. That's how. And I the way you say, okay, how do you know this is the reason why became awakened? Because I watch other YouTubers like Aaron Dowdy and stuff like that, and they say, and he said, you should go check him out. His name is Aaron Dowdy. Search up Aaron Dowdy on YouTube channel, Aaron. Okay, and then his like I think that's his first name on YouTube, and his last name on YouTube is Dowdy, Doughty. And if you search him up, he's also a spiritual YouTuber. He has like 950K subs or something. So go check him out. He's an amazing YouTuber. He's a spiritual YouTuber. And he's posted a lot of good content. And I remember him like doing I remember him one time saying that a lot of times when people have spiritual awakening is usually because, like, I don't know if that's true, but I read something like that and it resonated with me at the time. I remember him saying something like, oh, how I was often like the pain and the pressure that leads to a spiritual awakening, and that's what happened to me. I like when I read that, I was like, you know what, like that's what happened to me. And at one point I just like it just happened, and it was actually before I started awakening, something actually weird happened to me. And how I started seeing repeating numbers, synchronicities, like numbers like 3 3 3 3 3 3, 4 4 4 5 5 5, 12 12, 6 6 6 7 7 7, all these numbers. And I was like, what the hell, this is weird. I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, it just happened too many times to the point where like I'm like, yo, there's just no way this is a coincidence. There's just no way. And like, think about me, and as part of my personality, like whenever I notice something, I just usually like I just like going deeper into things, like the deeper meaning behind things. I'm that type of person. I like digging deep. And so what I did was, like, I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, is this some, like, I imagine, I know, like, it'd be like, what the hell is this, some like demonic shit? Like, I'm joking. That's not that's not what I thought or anything. But because how like people say the number 666 is like a demonic number. That's just not true, guys. It's just whatever meaning you give to things is the meaning you get out of it. So if you believe the 666 is a bad number, as like a stuff like that, then you know what, that's gonna like reflect back in your life. That's, you think it's a bad number, but it's actually just synchronicity number 666. It doesn't mean anything. It can just mean, like, from what I've learned and from other websites, it can mean things like that you're out of balance. It can relate to like when you're out of balance, stuff like that. And like when you're out of balance, your thoughts and everything. Also, for example, like if like it can mean about family, supposedly in some situations I learned, according to some specific websites, um, and things like that. But despite all those numbers I've talked about, like those numbers, like the way you can find those meanings is during, is if you know about meditation and how you can go within, and you can You can go within and find out for yourself what whatever number that means. You can also whatever, like, let's say you're doing something, and I've discussed this, keep in mind, a bit, like in my other video. If you haven't watched, how the universe sends you spiritual, how, like, it's another, like, spiritual video, and it's about how the universe sends you signs and stuff like that. And I sort of talking about the same thing, how, like, if let's say you're doing something, or thinking about something, and you look at the clock, or the watch, or you watch something, and the time says, for example, like 12:12, that could mean in that time that whatever you're doing, you're on the right track. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, like, that can mean, like, yes, you're on the right track. Like, keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're good. You're on the right track. That's what it could mean. You see what I'm saying? That's just the way the universe, showing you, like, okay, and you're on the right track. So let's say you're thinking about, some job promotion or something, and all of a sudden, you see 12:12. That can mean, like, wait, that might be like that's you're on the right track or something. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know, but yeah, something like that. So that's one thing, and what I'm trying to say is, like, so what happened was, anyways, my actual point that I was saying before was because, before my awakening, what happened was, I started seeing numbers. Like, there's numbers like 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6. All these repeating numbers. So I searched the meanings, and that's how I feel like at that point is when my awakening started. Like, literally, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I started meaning, and I started finding out, like, how these numbers, synchronicities, okay, are, like, they actually have meanings behind them, and they're actually for a reason. Because now I know for a fact that everything happens for a reason, and nothing is a coincidence. This is something that I truly believe. I believe that everything happens for a reason, and that nothing is a coincidence. Nothing, like, literally nothing. Um, so what do you call it? So, I started seeing that, and that's how I found out, like, it's called, another way you could say synchronicity. You could also say repeating numbers. You also say angel numbers. That's another word for it. That I've seen. Things like that, and what else? So yeah, like, that was how my awakening actually started. And the weird thing about me, when my awakening started, like, I don't know what happened, man. Like, as my awakening was starting, like, at the time, like, I was quite, like, yeah, man, it was just, like, a lot of pain. I was depressed too, if I'm gonna be honest with you. And yeah, man, like, I don't know what my life was at the time. At that point, life was just not okay, bro. I was just, it was a lot of, like, I was just hurt, and I guess you could say, and it was just, I don't want you guys to feel sad for me. Don't feel sad for me, but it's okay, because I'm doing way better now, guys. I'm doing better, um, because I know how this life is a matrix and everything, and it's just crazy, Everything happened for a reason. All that pain led me to my spiritual awakening, which is meant to happen, and you know, it's just meant to happen. And I know a lot of people can say spiritual awakening is bullshit and stuff like that, and they can send hate and stuff like that to me. But what they don't understand is that, awakening is something. It's like a self-realization. Like, if I was to maybe go to someone else that's not woke, okay, and that hasn't, went through a spiritual awakening, or hasn't awoken, awaken, or hasn't awoken. Is that even a word? Awoken. Awaken, I think, is a word. Oh yeah, awaken is a word. I'm confident about that. But that hasn't awakened. If you try to explain them, like, spiritual info and all this stuff, about, oh my god, I keep seeing numbers, spiritual, I keep seeing these angel numbers or whatever, but like, you can, like, during meditation, you can go within, and you can, like, ask questions and get the answer for it, bro. Do you know, like, all the stuff, like, I'm saying, like, stuff like that? They probably think you're crazy, and that makes sense. Okay, why one day? Because you're, like, before spiritual awakening, usually what happens is, like, there's a big change. Like, that's happened to me, sort of. Like, I just changed, like, I'm on a different, like, frequency now. Like I said, I know my vibration has increased, and I'm just on a different frequency now, and that's why it can get hard for people to relate to you. And I sort of experienced that my own way. I've sort of been lonely, because I'm just like, what the hell? Like, I have all this information, like, no one understands and things like that, and it's it's quite, like, yeah, it can get lonely, man. It's spiritual awakening, but what you don't understand is this is part of the process. Just believe it's a part of the process. Look at it in a positive way. I'm sorry for rambling on, but I just have so much things in my mind that I just wanna talk about and just spread. Might as well, if I have knowledge, might as well spread it. And even if it don't make sense, I'm sorry, but you just know that I'm trying to help, and I have the intention to help people. Um. So what do you call? What else do I have to say? I don't think there's nothing. So yeah, that's like pretty much. I think that was it. I just had to my spiritual awakening, and that's when I learned, you know, how like this life is a joke. I remember at one point even thinking life is a joke, man. I don't know. It was so weird, like now I think about it, because I know for a fact that life is a joke, actually, bro. Now that I think about it, life is a freaking joke, you know. But that's a whole nother video I can make, you know, and stuff like that, you know. As you probably heard, I'm not the only spiritual, YouTube creator there. Like I say, there's Aaron Dowdy, there's other YouTubers you've probably heard of, Spiritual Soul, Infinite Waters. He's many YouTubers. So many spiritual like YouTubers out there, you know. And I think that's all I gotta say. Like about my awakening, how it's all the pain. You mentioned that. Let me to the awakening. And if someone resonates with this, then please comment below, because that's what happened to me personally. Feeling lonely and stuff like that, and under a spiritual process, and you can still feel that way, okay? Until you find your vibe tribe. Your vibe tribe. Isn't that an amazing word? Vibe tribe. It literally rhymes. So that's your vibe tribe is a people that can resonate with you in the same frequency. And that's what a vibe tribe is. Other than that, I think that's all I gotta say, guys. Spiritual awakening can be caused by pain in life and pressure, and eventually leads to spiritual awakening. So just know that pain can be, it happens for a reason. Even the pain you go to happens for a reason. You might not know the reason why it happens, but in the future, if you awaken or you become woke, you will know. I think that's all I gotta say about that, and I'm gonna go. Peace.